Now we remember that a beast is symbolically a king or a kingdom, a government, and the horns of a kingdom could be symbolically their military force, which they uses to protect themselves. Now we see that biblical prophecy foretells that the iron, now that is the iron legs of the statue, in other words, the Roman Empire, who was known in history as the Iron Monarchy, will be revived again at the end time. Now it's an empire that faded back in the background in history, who was never really conquered by another kingdom. Now this rebuilt Roman Empire will rise again, and it will form the feet and toes of the statue in Daniel. Now this will be the fourth and last kingdom that will be on earth before Jesus Christ's second coming. And we see today the rising of the Roman Empire, just as the Bible predicted that it will happen. Now this is a map of the European Union today in 2009. Now the blue is the European Union countries, and the orange is countries that signed the European Neighbourhood Policy, a treaty with the European Union. Now this is also an ancient map of Rome, the Iron Monarchy, of the Roman Empire. And this is also another map of the old Roman Empire. Now this is the old Roman Empire and the European Union side by side. Now geographically, the European Union rests upon the same terrain where the old Roman Empire was located 2000 years ago. Now as you can see, it matches perfectly. Just as the Bible predicted that the fourth and last kingdom, the revived Roman Empire, will rise again. Now here you can see it for yourself. Now alarmingly, in December 1998, an office was created. Now this office was a job that was created in the European Union, the revived Roman Empire, called a High Representative for Common Foreign and Security Policy. Now, out of more than 1,150 documents that was generated at that summit, the document creating this powerful position or job was numbered 666. Now this document is known as Article 666. Now this job called for an immediate appointment of a Secretary General of the Council of the European Union and a High Representative for the Common Foreign and Security Policy, the CFSP. Now one of the goals of this office or a job is to preserve peace and strengthen international security as well as in the Middle East. Now the first person to serve this position was a 65-year-old Spaniard by the name of Javier Solana. Now he was a member of the Spanish Socialist Party and also prior head of NATO. Now on the 5th of June 2000, the military wing of the European Union granted Javier Solana emergency powers. Now this gives Solana complete authority over the European Union's military wing, the Western European Union. Now it gives him a complete one man's authority to declare military emergency as he finds it necessary. Now this is Mr. Javier Solana, the European Union Foreign Policy Chief and head of the Western European Union, the military arm of the European Union. Now he's there with Condoleezza Rice and President Clinton. Now, if you Google the General Report on the Activities of the European Union, you will see this document for yourself, Article 666. Now, in the next clips, I will show you where to go to check it out for yourself on the web. Now, this is the European Union's website. Now, click on Earlier Reports on the top left-hand corner. And the next page will open. And then click on Chapter 5, Role of the Union in the World. And then click on Section 1, Common Foreign and Security Policy. Then click on the next two pages, Next, and again Next. And there you can see it, Article 666. Now, the position of Article 666 of Javier Solana is that he is the Secretary General of the Council of the European Union, a High Representative for the Common Foreign and Security Policy, Head of the European Defence Agency, and Secretary General of the Western European Union. Now, the Western European Union, or the WEU, is a 10-nation alliance that forms the military muscle of the European Union beast. In other words, it's the European Union Army. Article 666 is a powerful position created in Europe, and the person in charge holds the military and diplomatic reins of power in the European Union's office. Now, another interesting fact is that on this very moment the European Union itself does not have a real president. Now, what they do have is a rotating president, which means that the 15 heads of the member states of the European Union takes turns at being president every 6 months. So the European Union changes its president every 6 months. The leaders of the European Union plan to elect Mr. Europe after the Lisbon Treaty is sorted out and signed by the leaders of Ireland. Now, will this be the office for the long-awaited Antichrist, Mr. Europe, to appear as the Bible tells us? Now, we do not know. But what's interesting is that all the prophetic pieces is falling in place, and the world stage is set and ready for the Antichrist to appear. And for the first time in history, a global world governmental system is also falling in place. So we see that for the first time in 2,600 years, after Daniel warned us about this unification of nations, the worldly stage is set and ready for Mr. Europe to appear. Now, I personally do not think that Javier Solana is the Antichrist, but it's possible that he is paving the way for the Antichrist to appear. It's also possible that this man will resign and that all the power will go in the hands of Mr. Europe, the new emperor of the revived Roman Empire, the European Union. Now, this is a red light flashing and worth to be watched. Now, unknown to many Christians, a 10-nation military alliance appeared in Europe in 1995, called the Western European Union, or the WEU. Now, it's also known as the Brussels Treaty Powers. Now, if these Brussels Treaty Powers are to become the 10 kings that the Bible tells us that will rise with a one-world governmental system, a strong leader or a king will rise to its power. And he will be against Jesus Christ in the Bible, and his government will persecute true Christians. Now, he is known as the Antichrist, and he will become the world's leader. Now, this 10-nation military alliance that appeared in 1995, called the Brussels Treaty Powers, are members of both NATO and the European Union. Now, what binds them together is a mutual defense obligation under Article 5 of the modified Brussels Treaty, which means that an attack against one is an attack against all.